My name is Matoko Oshima, and I'm a 31-year-old lawyer. I've remained single until this age and have devoted myself to my work. That being said, the reason I have is because a little trauma from a relationship with a certain man in the past. I belonged to the faculty of law at a university with a fairly high academic standard. The man I was dating at the time was Hideyuki Nishiyama, and he is the key person in this particular story. We were the same age and in the same faculty of law. At the time, we were in a romantic relationship, and we were both working hard to pass the bar exam.
I don't want it to end up looking like only you passed the bar exam. I really gotta put in as much effort as I can.
But the bar exam has a narrow passing margin, so even I don't know if I'll pass it.
How dare the top student in school say that?
But you're always good competition, aren't you, Hideyuki? Let's work hard together to pass the exam while we're still in school. But unfortunately, I was the only one who passed the bar exam while we were still in school, and Hideyuki was to take an entire year of self-study.
I'll be a little late, Madoka, but I'll definitely pass. I want you to wait for me.
Yes, of course! That's what Hideyuki said right after graduating from university, but this motivation didn't last long. Perhaps it was also because he was no longer a student. Hideyuki gradually began to neglect his studies, and eventually he became unemployed, living off his parents like a parasite. Of course I wanted him to get back on his feet, but...
You probably think I'm stupid in your heart anyway. Must be so nice, huh? A promising lawyer for the frickin' future of mankind.
He started to yell abuse at me every time we met. I had no intention of doing so, but I was the outlet for stress release, and it wore us both down in the relationship. And the worst part was he was cheating on me. I found out about his affair because, well, it was a stupid mistake on his part. He was drunk and sent me messages that went off the chain. To be honest, it wasn't that shocking, and I even thought it was a good opportunity. That was about it. Hideyuki admitted the facts without making any excuses, and we broke up very soon thereafter. Now, nearly 10 years later, I've gained a fair amount of experience and work as a lawyer with my own private practice. I'm finally getting successful and able to live a fairly decent life. However, ever since then, I have not felt like having a romantic relationship with a man, and I've been enjoying being alone for a long time in my private life. My most modest pleasure is to go out to eat delicious barbecue at the end of every month. I've decided to spend this time alone so I can enjoy a meal to my heart's content. And on this particular day, I decided to go to a high-end yakiniku restaurant that I've wanted to go to for a while. As a single woman whose life depends on her work, I have no resistance to eating yakiniku alone. Sushi for one, yakiniku for one, ramen for one, bring it on by all means! Delicious! I guess 1,500 yen for a plate of 5 slices makes a difference, as expected. Oh, this is what I work for. I was only enjoying my beer and barbecued meat when it happened.
Oh, is that you, Madoka?
What, Hideyuki, what a coincidence! By happenstance, I bumped into that aforementioned ex-boyfriend of mine. To be honest, I didn't want to meet him, especially in this situation. He saw me drinking beer and eating meat all alone and smirked rather maliciously.
What, you alone?
Well, yeah.
A single woman over 30 eating yakiniku alone? You're pretty much abandoning your charming femininity. No matter how respectable a lawyer's job could be, your private life is drier than the Sahara, huh?
He was blatantly mocking me. Well, he was right that my private life was very dry, so I couldn't argue with him. But I was honestly a little scared to see how Hideyuki knew I'd become a lawyer after we broke up. I was alone now by all means, but perhaps I was married, or perhaps I had someone. How could he be so sure that I was alone in life as well? Before I had any time to think about it, he went on with his nonchalant one-upping.
Oh, that's right. I'm getting married soon.
That's good to hear.
She'll be here soon, so I'll introduce her to you later, but my fiancée is the daughter of the president of the Monty Robo Commercial Affairs.
Wow, that big conglomerate?
Since I'm already engaged, I'm working there and in a good position to be the successor. I'm actually so grateful that I failed the bar exam. I can become much bigger than any lawyer could ever be.
Thank you so much for that especially blatant one-up. Seemed he'd gotten over being unemployed, but he'd become even more arrogant than I last saw him. Gulped down the beer, genuinely happy that I broke up with him.
Hey, are you listening to me?
Sorry, it would be a problem if the beer got warm.
Don't say shit that makes you like an old man. Seriously, you throw yourself away as a woman.
You know what? I want to kill this guy socially. He's an unproductive pile of slop whose only thought is to make statements that turn women in this world against him. Excuse me, can I have another beer?
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
I'm here to eat a nice meal. Perhaps you should hurry up and take a seat too.
You little...
And then a very classy lady who looked like the Emperor's daughter herself came in from behind. What's wrong? You haven't even taken a seat yet.
Masami! Perfect timing. Hey, Madoka, I'll introduce you to my fiancé. This is Masami Aizawa. And this is Madoka Oshima, babe. She's my ex.
What in the goddamn? There's no need for that introduction. Way to make things so awkward.
Today, she, her father, and I are gonna have dinner together. Oh yes, did I mention her dad is the boss of a big conglomerate?
Next should be loin. No, cow tongue into a follow-up with green onion is hard to throw away.
Look away from the menu. Look at us.
Yes. Ooh, my, what a beautiful fiancé you have.
I know, right? Sorry that I found someone much better and more successful than you. Even though you showed off your academia and worked so hard, you could only become a lawyer at a private firm after all. But in the end, maybe that was all you were made for.
And right here, the answer to my previous question from earlier was offered to me on a silver platter. He must have been gathering information about me ever since we broke up. Otherwise, there's no way he would have even known about his ex-girlfriend's current life, even though it's been 10 years since we broke up. That would mean he was extremely conscious of me. And if he found a better woman than me and married into wealth, he might have found an opportunity to one-up me, something he'd been planning and hoping for so long. Truly a really hopeless man. Hideyuki was getting carried away and talking so nonchalantly about how my life was nothing compared to his. That's when Miss Masami, who'd been silent the whole time, spoke up. Won't you break up with me? That is what Miss Masami said with a blank expression on her face and with no discernible remorse. My name is Masami Aizawa and I'm 24 years old. I work in an office. I'm supposed to be the daughter of a company president and I work for my father. I know what you're thinking. You just got into that conglomerate because of your parents pulling strings. You're absolutely right, and that's precisely why I can't slack off on my job. The reason why I chose my father's company is because I am an only child. My father is adamant about keeping the company run as a family business that shall continue for generations to come, and apparently he had decided from the time that I was born that I would work for his company. It was also my father's wish for me, in addition to becoming the rightful heir to inherit the business, to find a good husband. I had just graduated from university and met a man introduced to me by a mutual friend. His name was Hideyuki Nishiyama. He was good looking and a good talker, but what with me not very good at talking, I was immediately attracted to him. We soon started dating, and of course we got into a serious relationship with the intention of getting married. The moment we decided to start dating, we were supposed to meet my father, but Hideyuki was not in a particularly good spot professionally, if you will, so my father was against the relationship. However, he told me that he would do anything to marry me, and he was determined to keep his promise, so my father suggested that he join the family. He said he would agree if Hideyuki worked hard at the company together with me and my family to help make it bigger and more successful. Hideyuki agreed without hesitation. Then, just a few months ago, he proposed to me and we got engaged. My father was also impressed with Hideyuki's work and was truly happy for me that I had met such a good man. Hideyuki was the first man I'd ever been in a serious relationship with, but everything was going smoothly and I thought I was just really lucky. I was so happy. However, I soon realized that this happiness was all an illusion. One day, I exchanged the following messages with him.
I'll be there soon, darling. I really want to see you.
You'll be there? You mean at your business trip destination, dear? But I think you started your business trip yesterday.
Yes, that's right. It started yesterday. I'll be there soon, meaning I'll be at the hotel I'm staying at soon. I just wanted to see you so badly, that's all.
But you never sent me a message every time you checked in that hotel before. I wonder what's up with you today.
I'm getting married and I'm in high spirits. I felt like I wanted to contact you even if I didn't have anything to say.
You didn't send me anything yesterday, though.
I thought I should, like 100 times, but I was busier than a bee on Ritalin.
Is that so? Well, great job, honey. I'm sorry for asking in a way that sounds like I'm trying to find out something.
Trying to find out something? Are you doubting me or something?
No, nothing specific at all. What did you think I meant by that?
Nothing specific over here either, honey. Oh, that's right. When it came to our weddings, a first-class hotel is definitely the way to go, I think.
Yes, and we talked about doing that just the other day. I've already contacted them.
Damn, that's right, you did! Sorry, I was too busy and forgot.
Hey, please don't push yourself, okay?
Thank you, darling. I love you.
Well now, that was the first time you said that.
Well, we're getting married soon, so it's only natural.
Yeah, I'm not so childish and naive that I would just take what he says at face value like this. It must have been a mistake on his part. I was the one who replied to messages like, "I'll be there soon, darling, and I really want to see you." He must have panicked and tried to make everything seem okay. Deep down, I realized that my feelings for him were slowly starting to fade into obscurity, but on the surface, I decided to pretend that I had been deceived. Behind the scenes, I hired the detective to investigate him and gather evidence of potential infidelity. The results were far more than I expected, and I discovered that he was cheating on me with not one, not two, but 3 different women at the same time. And he probably thought that marrying me would be the best deal possible of all. He was talking to a woman at the cafe about his relationship with me, and from the recording, I heard the worst, most horrible voice saying things like, "Now, by marrying this rich whore, I can finally enjoy a luxurious life of lovely nights with you, lol." I felt most anger towards someone I've ever felt in my life, so I decided to make his life a living hell. However, simply breaking off our engagement was no fun, and I wouldn't be satisfied either. So I decided to hire a lawyer and file a full-scale lawsuit. So, through a good friend's connections, I was introduced to a good lawyer. And when I got to her office... "Nice to meet you. My name is Madoka Oshima. I intend to do everything in my power to meet your expectations, Miss Aizawa." A slender, beautiful woman appeared. She seemed like someone who could get the job done. I intuitively felt like I could trust her with the job. As I explained the details of my request, however, Madoka's expression began to cloud over. Is something the matter, ma'am?" Then she awkwardly opened her mouth and said, It seems that this fiancé of yours... Yeah, he's definitely a man I've dated in the past." "What?" Fact is stranger than fiction indeed. How could this coincidence ever come into being? Who knew that she knew my fiancé, let alone dated him? Madoka said that if it was awkward, she would introduce me to another lawyer, but I decided to let her continue to handle my case. If you don't mind, I'd like to know more about your past with him. Oh, but... Please, ma'am, I can't help but feel concerned about the potential notion that you were treated badly by that man as well. I understand. It's a bit off topic, but I shall try my best to satisfy your curiosity. You have no regrets, miss? What do you mean? Are you regretting allowing me to handle your case? I honestly thought you were wasting your time. Wasting my time? Oh, perish the thought! We're comrades who were treated wrongly by the same man, are we not? Let's thoroughly make his life a living hell together, ma'am. I intend to proceed in this case as a professional, which means I shall not bring any personal feelings into this matter. Are you sure? Aren't you fired up? Even just a little bit? I get it. I'll be honest, I'm just a wee bit more motivated than usual, I admit. Of course you would be. A professional, of course you are, but you're still a human being. Thank you for your consideration. Anyway, since I've decided to do it, I'll do my best to meet your expectations, Miss Aizawa. Thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, please call me Masami. I think we can be good friends, even outside of professional circumstances. Oh, well, how about then if we win this lawsuit? Of course! I trust you, Miss Madoka. You're being a bit hasty, aren't you? By the way, Miss Madoka, I have another favor to ask of you. What is it? I'm gonna have dinner with him at a yakiniku restaurant next weekend, and I'm gonna tell him that I'm breaking the engagement off then. Yes, I think that's a grand idea. I'd like you to be there, Miss Madoka. I don't mind if we go along with the idea that we just happened to meet. And so this is how it all happened, and we decided to put up a bit of a show. I didn't think he'd notice me and try to one-up the shit out of me, but Miss Masami dropped that bombshell and asked him to break off our engagement.
Oh, stop, darling. I don't like that kind of joke.
I'm not joking, good sir. Please allow me to terminate the engagement. And here's why. From her pocket, Miss Masumi took out a few photographs of him cheating that the detective had collected and threw them at his face. Hideyuki's face got more and more pale when he realized the nature of the photos. His attitude was completely different from when I confronted him with the evidence of his cheating on me. Do you really think I wouldn't notice if you sent such an obviously mistaken message? Well, I suppose you'd consider that with no problem given that you look down on women so much. Masumi spat matter-of-factly and with the coldest expression on her face. When this evidence of infidelity was presented, I honestly couldn't help but laugh. He hadn't grown up at all since the last time he cheated on me. A laugh or two or 1,000 boiling up from within, I managed to hold it together. However, as I listened to her talk to him, I realized that on the inside she isn't as gentle as she looks. As expected of the president of a large conglomerate, she doesn't back down a single step from before Hideyuki and stood firm. She's a girl younger than me, but goddamn does she look handsome right now. And by the way, I'm sure you're wondering why she chose this particular occasion.
What on earth is all this fuss about?
Oh, Dad! Talk about perfect timing! Actually, not only Hideyuki and Masumi were planning to come have dinner today, but her father, President Masanari Aizawa, the top money robo-man, was also scheduled to come eat. President Masanari arrived a little late and was dumbfounded, not understanding the situation, but his daughter went on to explain things to him calmly. I had just proposed to Hideyuki to terminate our engagement, Father. He's been in a relationship with 3 other women besides me, you see.
What do you mean? No! Well...
He was glared at by his future father-in-law, and as a result, Hideyuki's attempts to explain himself were futile, for his voice would not work. It's no wonder he was presented with much evidence against him after all. I was thinking of suing after the engagement was over, so I hired a good lawyer. Isn't that right, Madoka? She passed the baton to me and I stood up and delivered the final blow. Thank you, ma'am. As I've been introduced, I am Madoka Oshima and I will be representing Miss Masumi Aizawa. Mr. Hideyuki Nishiyama, due to your actions of legitimate adultery, my client has deemed it impossible to continue your engagement with her, so I shall request alimony on her behalf. I will send you the official documents by mail at a later date with all the specifications. I trust you'll check them thoroughly. I thought I was acting professionally and resolutely, but deep down I was overwhelmed with ambition. I hate to admit it, but the corners of my mouth probably curved into a faint grin of malice. I was feeling so good because he was chastising me and one-upping the shit out of me, only to be absolutely destroyed 5 minutes later. Who wouldn't be bawling with laughter? So, how'd it go? It was a masterpiece. He was on the floor in public begging for my forgiveness. Yeah, I saw that too. It was such a funny, glorious sight that I just wanted to talk to you. Miss Masumi, don't people say you have a gap between one side and another? So I've been told by quite a few people, yes. I've made a lot of people scared for their lives. I don't doubt it. I excused myself after he dropped to the floor, but what was it like afterwards? Oh dear, why do you want to know? Of course, as a lawyer, I want to understand the situation. Is that true? No, actually, I'm just curious as a comrade of yours. Oh, don't act so secretive. Just tell me, please. Of course. The takeaway is that neither my father nor I intend to forgive him. Of course not. He was fired from the company. Are you sure about that? If you're sued for unfair dismissal, I can be your consultant in that matter. No, ma'am. To be more precise, we made it so that he had no choice but to quit, so all is well. How? I simply gave him the order to transfer to a rural branch where there is no entertainment or anything. His salary would be about 1/3 of what it was before as well. I see. Who wouldn't quit in that situation? Also, I've sent certified letters to the other women he was together with, so it must be hellish for him truly. I think it's awesome that you didn't let up until the very end. But more importantly, Miss Madoka, our promise? By which you mean, we promised that if we won the case, you'd be my friend. I heard from Masumi later that Hideyuki had lost everything he was so proud of, so I was really relieved to hear that. I regret that I was perhaps a little too obsessed with my own feelings towards him despite being a lawyer, but I headed off to the cafe to meet Masumi to keep my promise. Madoka! Sorry to keep you waiting, Masumi. We were both people who had been manipulated by the same man, and I think we'll do our best to stay good friends from now on.